Hello, chat. Okay, so let's start with the recap as always. What we're doing now is setting up this new MacBook for web development, specifically with JavaScript, TypeScript, and Python. So what we did on the last um, two live streams, we picked a wallpaper, nice and beautiful wallpaper. We installed iTerm. That's the terminal we chose between. We were choosing between iTerm and Kitty. I decided to go with iTerm because that's what I'm more familiar with. And Kitty's functionality did not seem to appeal to me. So I guess I'm just not the target audience for them. I added transparency for iTerm. I increased scrollback length. I set a startup shell as ZSH instead of login shell. We removed marker or indicator from iTerm2, so it was basically adding some small arrow for each command. We installed Homebrew, we installed Git using Homebrew. Then we configured our Z shell. So we installed a plugin manager called zinit, which is basically a faster and more minimal plugin manager compared to OMI-ZSH, if you are familiar with that. We installed Starship Prompt, and I think we were choosing between Starship Prompt and Pure Prompt. I decided to go with Starship because, again, something I'm more familiar with. It looks nice and has more configuration options if I decide to change in terms of theming, and it also quite fast and cross-platform, so I just stuck with that. Oh, and also it's written in Rust, so I guess that's one of the benefits. So then we set a pure prompt preset, so basically it emulates the theme of the pure prompt. Now, then we installed a VS Code. I like to have it on my system regardless of whether it's my main editor right now or not. So then what we did today, I guess about 6 hours ago, we were streaming as well. So what we did is we configured fonts. So we installed JetBrains Mono Nerd font using Homebrew. We set some paths in my Z shell config. We remapped caps lock to control key. So basically now I can press caps lock instead of control if I want to control. For example, if I want to press control D or something to cancel the command, I would just press caps lock D. It's much more ergonomic and convenient for me. Then we installed few ZSH plugins, and we installed syntax highlighting, auto completion, auto suggestion plugins. So basically it allows us to run our commands faster and navigate through the history of the commands that we were using much easier. We installed Zoxide. It's a better way of navigating through your files, so it's kind of CD on steroids, but I would still argue that it's somewhat minimal and fast. So it allows me to not type the entire path of my project, for example, and if I was visiting that project for like often, it will keep that history and allow me to navigate to it faster by just typing cd my project folder, even if it's deeply nested in, let's say, slash project slash test slash something something slash project name. I could just type cd project name and it will go there. We installed Fuzzy Finder for different purposes, but mainly it integrates with Zoxide. And yep, later it would be useful for integration with NeoVim. And there also, I would say, a bunch of functionalities from Z Shell where FZF might be useful. I'm not using FZF like as standalone command, but I mean, it's still good to have it. And lastly, we installed GNU Stove. So it's basically allowing us to symlink all of our configuration and allows us to keep our config files, dot files, in separate directory and just create a symlinks to the directories where they are supposed to be. So for example, let's say, so let's open a terminal. let's say in my config directory in home config, I have a Starship prompt configuration here. So instead of keeping it here, what I want to do is to actually keep it in my separate .files directory. And what it will do, if let's say if I go to config here, I will find the Starship configuration here. So we want to be able to synchronize it from my .files directory so that this .files directory can be later uploaded to my GitHub, and A, I'll be able to share it with everyone. B, it will be much more easier for me to set up any other machine later. So what it does is basically it creates a symlink. So if I go here and let's run this command, and then we will see that actually make it larger. But we can see that the Starship is just symlinked to .files. So it's very convenient. Basically it allows me to keep all my config files in one special directory, and then we just create a symlinks to wherever they should be for respective programs to actually find those configs. So that's what we did. And right now we have 3 items that we are going to do today, I think. So we're going to browse through and pick iTerm color theme. We are going to install Node.js version manager and install Node.js, obviously, and we're going to install Python and find some way to manage versions of Python as well. So I'll be honest, I haven't used any color theme for iTerm for like about 2 years. I was sticking with whatever was default. But this time I think I want to browse through and see what are the available color themes there, because I prefer to use my development machine in light mode. So I think having a better contrast colors might be actually useful. So that's what we're going to try to see, if we can improve iTerm in any way here. If not, we'll just leave it at whatever it is now and just continue with Node.js. So my ZSH config was mostly inspired by these 2 videos. I will leave them in the description of the VOD, of the previous stream VOD, and this one as well. And my .files can be found here. Actually, we can go through it now a little bit. So we go to my GitHub. We have my ZSH config with all the stuffs here. So we have some of the past we add. We have Homebrew. We have Zenit configuration and a bunch of plugins that we installed, including our prompt. We set our key bindings to Emacs mode, and we remap Control P and Control N to these commands, which will basically allow me to, instead of cycling through the history of the commands, like in absolute way, it will allow me to, for example, type curl, and then if I press Control P, it will give me all the commands from history related to the curl instead of whatever was the previous command, right? We add some options for history here. We then source FCF and Zoxide. So that's basically the default configuration for those. We didn't modify anything there. And here also, in .config, I have my Starship prompt configuration, which is default pure prompt preset. So nothing changed here. I guess I'm going to modify it because I would want to probably see the Node.js version here as well. I think right now it just configured only for Python, but I'll need to check that actually. So we have that, and then lastly, I have a list of software that I installed through Brew. So this is done for 2 reasons. First, for reference, and second, every time whenever I need to install all of these, actually, I can just do following command. So if I go to my terminal and navigate to .files, what I can do is I can cat this file brew list, and then I can just xargs it to brew install. So this command will automatically install all the software from that file. So it's very convenient, okay? And yeah, basically it. So let's start checking out what iTerm, how much we can customize iTerm and what themes we have if there are any. So because I'm not really sure whether we want to do that or not, I'm not sure yet. It's not a very big necessity for me, but it would be nice, I would say. So let's just check what we have. Okay, I remember this website. Bunch of here. We need to something light. Teams. This looks interesting. Let's act of this. This might be nice one. Yes, it's one. This one as well. The color, when it comes to color themes, one of the light themes I like the most is actually VS Code's default light theme. But I'm not really sure this is something available for iTerm. Highly doubt I can just directly. Yep, I guess I try to find some. I think what we're going to. Oh, let's find few famous ones and just try to test them first. I don't think we can find the good ones among those not famous teams when it comes to the light team. I think the colors right and GitHub. Nope as well. Okay. Now, let's check how do we even load presence. Okay. I guess how do I download? We do not. So let's create a temporary directory here. Call it dot. Did it do the job? Yep. Profiles, colors, export, import. To show his get how to. Wait. Oh, this one. Actually, okay. Okay. Try. Color. Add Python installed now. Automate. That's what Python installs. Code in back. But I need this material. So now load them one by one. NVM port. Who's not? Yeah, that's not really what I was expecting. Oop, definitely. Um, Material. This looks nice. Let's actually. Material. Yeah, this is much better than whatever it was. Read things. Oh, it's alright. Fine. We want to keep it synchronized. That's why I'm trying to pick the more popular themes so that my Neovim color scheme and my iTerm color scheme are the same. IU light. Oof, this one. Nope, I don't like. Contrast is not enough for me to see things. Okay. And atom one light is the last one. It's interesting that the suggestions I lost cursor. Suggestions here. Dark color. There is no difference between actual. Not clear that this is suggestion. It's a bit different. Okay, it does it the other way around. Don't. Interesting. This might be the thing that the darkest color thing. Quite dark one. Let me compare it again. it. So, okay, we can remove atom on light. We can definitely remove material as well. Try again. Not that deep. Yeah, it's a bit too dark actually. I guess we're going with capuchin. Let's double check. Interesting. Okay. I think I will keep the default theme for now. Well, that's some time wasted here. I think we'll keep it this. Yeah, but I think I will keep this color for a while to find some better colors. Problem is together with transparency and light theme, the contrast is the problem. It's hard to find a good theme here. So for now, I think we'll keep it this way. Yeah, we can close the. Let me. One thing that we're going to do, not only screen, also. This. Set up the font. Probably. Right one. Looks okay on the stream. Yep, so we are going to remove tile directory. Okay, so anything else we want to have? Well, okay, next thing. This one, liquid default for now. Okay, now let's try to install Node.js, and for that we need version manager first so that we can have multiple versions depending on the project. So for Node.js there are multiple choices. There is NVM, there is also N, I think it's called N. I think this is the oldest one. And newest one would be FN. Yep. So, um, in my opinion, all of them are fine. All of them are working okay. And I never used N myself, but I was using NVM a lot before. And the only reason I'm using FNM now is because it's written in Rust. And it's just purely vibe-based decision. So I used FNM for about a year and something, and it was fine. So I guess I'll just continue using that. I'm not really sure if there is any big difference between any of them. I would imagine FNM might be faster purely because if it's written in Rust, the people who are maintaining this repo are slightly more focused on optimizations. So I guess we'll just I'm going with that based on vibes only. There are no other rational explanation of why I want FNM, but there is no like it's not a big deal to use N or NVM as well. So yeah, so we're just going to follow the installation instructions here. Okay, there is a script that we can use, which I guess we can just that one. Just let's use brew. Did that. Let's see what else. So this would source the local project directory for I would node version or npm-rc files. So it will automatically switch to the correct node version if the project repo directory specifies that version. So yeah, you can use this file, for example, by the version. So that we are going to so it's not. Yep. Let's see if it's going to do that processing every time. Nope, it just first time set up, it works fine now. Now we need to install Node.js and have one Node.js version as default. And how are we doing that? I have no idea. Check. We are going to go out. install. What I want to know is, okay, we can do this. Whatever is current LTS should be fine for us. Okay, we are done. Well, default it is latest. Okay, that's correct. So let's double check that it actually works on. Okay, good. I have not installed. That's it. That was quite simple. And yeah, later if I need to install any other version, I can just I believe it would be something like, say, version 20. That's how I would install it. So pretty simple. Not even sure if I need to specify V, but I think check the. Yeah, it will be just V and the version number. Yep. So for now we don't need multiple versions, so I'll just do the LTS. It's fine for me. So we can update our log here and this version here. Okay, now we need to deal with Python. So for Python, I actually need to have multiple versions per project. ST. Now the thing is, I'm not really familiar with Python ecosystem right now, because what I was doing before is I was using Conda that was managing the Python versions per project, per environment, I would say, for me. In case of, but this time I don't think I want to use Conda because it's big, bloated. I was using it mainly, I had very specific reasons why I was using it before. Right now I don't think I want to do that. Now I have PyNV, but I'm also familiar with another way. Because I remember that you can manage multiple versions of Python. Homebrew. That's what I want to see actually. As far as I'm aware, PyNV has features. Cautious about using simpler. Yeah. Well, Docker is certainly the solution here. correct. Okay. Going to comb. We're probably going to use brew to manage our Python versions. Yep, that's the type of problems that you will get with PyNVIS. It's very gets confused a lot when it to uh, detecting your paths. Although I don't think in this particular case PyNV is the problem. Interesting. Okay, now I just try to deal with PyNV here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's how it. So every time I want to use Python 3.12, I can just literally type Python 12. So if I install a different version, I can just use that different version. I think I'm okay with that actually. I think that's fine because in normal workflow you will be creating a virtual environment in case of Python. So you just need to choose. Don't have to, I guess. Yeah, you just choose the version that you are running your pip. But oh wow, okay, that's how it works. So this would be pointing to the 3.12 release that we have. So basically, if we install multiple versions, we just type out the entire version in our terminal, and that's how it's going to work. I think I'm fine with that. I think it's good enough because I don't think I need um more than two versions of Python, at least at the moment. So I think I'm good with this. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this. Yep, done. Done with this. Either this done. Embryo. Needed. Oh, okay. I think the rest of the stuff would be for next streams. Yep, for Tmax, I'm not really sure if I want to have Tmax yet. Probably yes, but I guess we're going to set that up later because um, been like many years since I used Tmax, and I actually don't remember um, that much about Tmax. So I'll have to get used to it and adjust workflow a bit to start to use Tmax properly, leverage its power. And same goes for NeoVim. That's why I have VS Code installed for now. I guess for the next streams we might do NeoVim install, we might do VS Code setup, or we can consider installing Tmax and configuring it if needed too. But otherwise, I would say we are done here. This and check if name creates. Now, one thing we are going to do before we go is here that makes that. Get to it. Okay, and another thing that we do is okay. So now we should have a bunch of stuff added Wonder, I would imagine Python has SQLite as dependency. That might be the case. I don't think that's just going to add to. But that Python name. Okay. Cool. Yep. So that's all for today, chat. You have my dot files. I'll put them in the board description. This what would be later uploaded to YouTube as well, and YouTube links will be under the Twitch word too, so you'll be able to refer to it later if needed. But that's it for today. Thank you everyone who watched me. Thank you for your support. Bye bye.